Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Drone Wars. Sorry about the wait, I've been a little bit busy so this episode will be just a little bit late. But we're just gonna jump in and see what happens here. I mean, the Pirate Empire has most of the board, you can see that the Federation is putting up a decent fight and they have actually made their first super carrier. So, with that super carrier they might be able to push back, but of course the Pirate Empire has multiple super carriers, so we're going to see what the Federation does in response to this. Right now they have two separate territories, their top left territory and their bottom territory, and if they focus on that bottom territory they might be able to expand a little bit, but that top territory does need to be defended. So we're going to see what happens here. Alright, so the Federation, for their first action, they went over to their shipyard over here and they decided to build yet another fleet, which of course is just a carrier, a cruiser, 2 corvettes, and some more fighters. So it's not the strongest fleet, but it'll do something. They have all those fleets there, so they're probably going to use those to be more of a defensive or offensive strategy to kind of spread out as quickly as possible. But for their second action, they're actually going to take one of their weaker fleets, which is just a single lone carrier that was over here in the Pertam Dunes. And they're going to be sending it down to the Alien Mountains down here to take on this fortress world. So we're going to see how it handles that. Alright, here we are, we're on Alien Planet, and we're just going to observe this battle. So you can see it's just one carrier with its escort of fighters going after this fortress over here on the mountain. This fortress is going to be pretty dangerous to that carrier, but we're going to see if it's able to handle it. So we're just going to go ahead and begin the battle. Almost immediately there are shots going out. All these fighters are rushing in. And of course that carrier is going up above. There's already some shots coming in. Still going after those fighters, but it seems the autocannons are going after the carrier, which is definitely more of a threat right now. There's already some active shots coming out. And just definitely some missiles being fired over there from those 220s. Now these fighters are coming in and do their own damage as well. Those close-range weapons are doing whatever they can here. One weapon is holding on, and now it's just about been eliminated. So yeah, the fortress has been conquered. Alright, that's a victory for the Federation. Alright, so with that victory, the Federation has managed to get a foothold of a little more land over here, which is great, but there's a small problem with this. They turned it into a shipyard, and there are other worlds around here, including a level 2 fortress world somewhere down here as well. So the Federation, they're going to take their eyes away from all this, and they're actually going to focus on the fleets up here. They're sending their most recent fleet all the way up there to kind of just test the waters a bit. So as you can see here, their newest fleet of just one carrier, one cruiser, two corvettes, and all these fighters. They're going to be going after the super carrier, a battleship, and these fighters. There's going to be a lot of fighters in this battle because it is, well, two ships that carry fighters plus these extra fighters. I honestly don't know if they'll be able to do much, but this is an alien planet, so maybe the gravity might help. It is a very risky battle, and I don't think the Federation's going to win this, but if anything, they might have a chance of weakening this fleet and making it easier for the other fleets to do something about it. Alright, here we are. So this is going to be a pretty big battle. You can see there's a lot of fighters all around on this side. You can see the carrier, we've got a cruiser, and we've got two corvettes. It's a pretty decent fleet. On the opposite side, you can see that the Pirate Empire has brought out their own fleet here. They've got one battleship, one super carrier, and a lot of fighters out here to help. We're just going to go in and declare war and see what happens here, because I think a lot of these ships are going to go down very quickly. And all these fighters are going to be a really big problem. Almost immediately, we have a lot of ships jumping into battle. There's a lot of railgun being fired already to try and take out all these missiles. There's already some missiles breaking through the defenses here. That's going to leave a pretty decent sized hole in this carrier here. But these ships need to continue moving forward. There's a lot of railgun being fired out here, and there's a lot of explosions from these corvettes. All these fighters are charging in. These corvettes are going to try to be a blockade against all these fighters and try to stop them from getting closer. There's more missiles coming in, so it's going to be a huge problem for all these ships. Oh, there's a lot of missiles being fired out here. All these ships need to do whatever they can to remove those fighters as quickly as possible. You also have to deal with the carrier there because all those missiles are coming in, and that's going to do a lot of damage. You can see there's even more hits coming in. That's just leaving a gaping hole straight in the middle of this ship. In fact, its main weapon is completely out. And it's very rapidly losing thrusters. In fact, an entire chunk of the ship is coming off here. See, this is very overwhelming. You can see all these fighters over here are jumping in to do their own damage. And these are going to be an excellent distraction for the Federation to take advantage of. These Pirate Empire ships are jumping in, or they're just pushing forward trying to get through these fighters. The Destroyer Vega seems to be trying to be a cover for the rest of the fleet here, trying to get rid of these fighters. And it's also playing more of a defensive role, and all these missiles are moving forward. So they're definitely going to do a lot of damage again. You can see they've gone in range of the corvettes, and these corvettes are pretty much, yeah, they're not lasting too long out here. All these missiles are going in after that carrier again. You see the cruiser is trying to stay back. trying to get within closer range here. You see there's a lot of missiles coming in. This ship is definitely not handling very well. It is just raining debris. But still holding up a pretty decent fight out here. You can see these other ships are trying to get in closer. Two ships have collided here, but things are probably going to be okay here if they don't fall on their sides. This might actually be a turning point for the Federation here, as these two ships, their collision is throwing them both off. And they're trying to correct themselves here. Oh, they might hit the ground here. Yeah, that was a fatal mistake on their part. You can see that the Vega is doing whatever it can to get back up, and it might actually stabilize itself, but that supercarrier is still falling sideways. There's a lot of railgun going this way. There's a lot of explosions coming from the carrier off in the distance. The supercarrier might be able to save itself here. No, it seems that carrier is going down. There's just too much missile coming after it. There it goes. Just one big explosion. Still a lot of other explosions going on over here as these other ships are taking lots of hits. Seems like this Corvette has been shot down, so it's going down immediately as well. You can see the cruiser is currently trying to take on the other ships in the back over there, but I don't think it's going to last all that long. Over here you can see missiles and railgun being exchanged, and there's a lot of defense doing whatever it can here. Things aren't looking too good for this cruiser, so there's way too many missiles getting in close. It's a lot of damage, but the ship is still holding on pretty well, and it's firing as many missiles as it can. See, there's missiles being fired in both directions, and there are still Federation fighters in the battle here. You can see they're going after the other ships there. You You can see this battleship and the super carrier are now trying to go after that, they're trying to go after that cruiser. Definitely a lot of missiles being exchanged over here. You can see all these ships are just going way outside the battlefield. They're trying to drag the battle somewhere else. Seems like the shields on the super carrier have gone down, so it is starting to take some damage now. The railgun fire and those missiles are going to continue to hit it, but I'm not quite sure if it's going to be enough. Especially since it is taking shots in return, especially from that battleship out there. So these two are continuing to go sideways here after each other. Out here you can see that the battleship appears to be moving forward, trying to close the gap, but it is taking damage from the wrecks that are over here. It appears there are still some fighters out here in battle. Quite a few fighters at that. Okay, these fighters are going to slowly get shot down by the remains of the other ships down there. This is a very intense battle. It's mostly just long-range railguns and some missiles at this point. But it is proving to be very effective. Also, all that railgun fire is eventually going to break through, and that might cause some really big problems on this cruiser. Oh, and there's some missiles being fired as well, so I don't know if the cruiser's going to last. That's a lot of missiles. Some of them are being shot down, but I think there is a bit too many for this cruiser to handle here. that was a massive hit. Appears that lots of its side thrust has just been completely eliminated with that strike. The ship might be going down at this point. It's still going to fight with whatever it has left, but it's most likely going to crash into the ground here. Yeah, I don't think that ship is getting back up. So with that, we can see if there's any ships still left. Surprisingly, there are still some fighters out here. Those fighters are quite literally the last hope of the Federation in this battle, but I don't think they're going to be able to do much here. Just going to observe the battle from their point of view and see if they survive this. There's definitely some railgun coming in. Since the shields are down, it might actually be these fighters might actually be able to do a little bit of damage, but I don't know if it'll be enough. But they are getting closer. See, the other fighter is being targeted by the close-range weapons over there. And this fighter is starting to be targeted as well. So now they're getting within weapons range. Seems like both of these fighters are just completely eliminated. So that means the super carrier out here is still alive, the battleship out there is still alive, and we'll see if any fighters are still alive. I believe that's the last fighter. Yeah, it's just that one fighter. So with that, that's the end of the battle here. It seems that the Pirate Empire has won, but it has lost a pretty significant amount of fighters. So we're going to see how that goes. Okay, so this is an interesting predicament that's happened here. So the Federation had completed their 3 actions, which is fine, I guess, but the Pirate Empire, they retaliated. It's just overkill. So the first action that the pirates made is that they decided to build a new fleet at this shipyard. And their second action was that they're going to take this fleet over to the newly conquered shipyard that the Federation had made. They don't want the Federation to have any more shipyards. But I'm just going to show you guys what exactly is in that fleet that the pirates made. The pirates they had a lot of money stored up, and they basically spent all of it into the most powerful fleet ever seen in the series, by far. I mean, they have 3 super carriers 5 battleships and 2 frigates. And consider that these 2 battleships and the 3 supercarriers can carry fighters. You've got a fleet that is capable of taking down the entire Federation multiple times over. The thing is that this fleet can only be in one place at a time, so the Federation is going to need to find a way to work around this until they can find a way to defeat said fleet. But in the meantime, this fleet versus a single carrier, I'll be honest with you, I don't think that carrier will last 2 seconds in that kind of battle. So if the battle ends up being extremely short to the point where it's not really, if it's like less than a minute, then I'm not really going to include it in the video, and we're going to move on to the next battle. Alright, and the Federation 100% lost that battle. We just didn't even include it in the video because it was just that short. So over here, the Powered Empire's last action was spent just moving a fleet closer to the rest of the battlefield over here. So it's going to take a few episodes for that fleet to actually make it over here. But I guess that's okay. Yeah, just look at the board overall. I mean, the Federation, they're doing okay. They are expanding just a little bit, or at least they were trying to. They've run into a very big problem because the Powered Empire has made that, I don't even know what to call that fleet. That's basically their main fleet. I don't think the Federation's gonna be able to take on anything like that for a long time. But the Federation could definitely find ways to expand and try to survive for as long as possible while the Pirate Empire continues to push back against them. I don't even know if the Federation's gonna be able to win this, but there is a small chance. In the meantime, the Pirate Empire is just continuing to push forward, I guess. They're trying to move in their weaker fleets, so that way, as they eliminate those fleets, they can replace them with larger and more powerful fleets that'll be a lot more useful. And of course, Delta Shipyard still has their one singular planet that hasn't been taken over yet, but it's only a matter of time. So I guess that's about it for this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. There is a Discord down in the description if you guys are interested in joining us for Season 2. Without further ado, that's the video, and I hope you all have a great day. Take care.